Friday.
It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. All right, here we go. Here we go.
And now, on with the show.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, don't say it 'cause I know I'm cute. Ooh, baby. Louis down to my drawers, LV all on my shoes. Ooh, baby. I be dripping so much sauce, got a bit looking like Grey Goose. Ooh, baby. Lit up like a crystal ball, that's cool, baby, so is you, that's how I roll.
It's Friday. Hey, everybody.
Woo. Hey. Whoop, whoop.
We have a big, full house right now. How many people are in the room right now with us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 myself. 10 people in this little studio.
And then there's
And then
another
more.
10 outside the
At
studio
least.
door.
At least, yeah. Yeah.
We probably got, what, 25-ish?
It's pretty
people in
awesome.
here in the studio?
It's pretty wild. This is the biggest crew we've ever had here.
Yep.
We're playing another Cheese Original find right here. The Juice.
The juice.
It's a good one. Does it get you going or what?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Gets my juices flowing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm flowing right now. I'm flowing right into the rest of the show because we have something very special we got to talk about right here at the top of the show. It's been a long time in the works, but ladies and gentlemen, I finally get to roll out the Joe Resington in-studio intro because, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Joe Resington is in-house. Special intro just for Joe. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. Which one of your kids made that then?
Oh!
Wow, man! I worked hard for that.
And the value of this is negative.
Joe is unimpressed. He is unimpressed. Well, it's good to have you in studio. Either way, I'll try harder next time. I saved that. I've been sitting on that for like 2 weeks, thinking Joe's gonna like this, because it's metal and Joe's metal.
Yeah, man. But you know what's strange? I've come all the way 5,000 miles. We're on this live stream together, and we can't even see each other.
Actually, I think it works. I think it works.
He likes not looking at you.
Changed.
It's less distracting because, like having to watch you think and use your face is very distracting. So having this monitor in front of you kind of makes you like Wilson from Home Improvement. It's like reverse Wilson right now.
That sounds
That's great.
okay.
It's all right by me. Yeah, people have any idea what you're talking about? No. You hear all this crowd back here?
Yeah.
How great is that? All right.
I like how it's actually not a loop. Like there's just legitimately a party going on.
It is. There's a party going on out there. Wes is going to show up soon. He's stopping by and doing a beer run. But I'm also very excited to welcome into the studio the one, the only, Martin Wimpress. Hello, sir. Hello, Wimpy.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Yeah.
Do you mind if I tell people about the vehicle that you and Popey have?
Feel free.
So they have what they call a hire car, right?
Yeah.
A hire car, which is what we call a rental.
Okay.
And they got the most I mean, I suppose you could have gotten like a huge Hummer or an SUV, but you went a much better route. They got themselves a fully decked out Dodge Challenger, and it is the American.
Wait
classic.
a second. To make it the most American, it needs to be like gunmetal gray.
Theirs is a really fancy like sports black with yellow highlights on it.
Yeah.
Which works.
Wow.
I feel like it's like the special edition or something like
It
that.
is, yeah. The guy looked at us and he smiled. We'd pre-booked some very ordinary saloon car, and he looked at both of us and he said, "Do you guys want to have some fun?"
Oh my
And we were
goodness.
like, yeah. And we got an upgrade to the Dodge Challenger for $28.
That's a hell of an upgrade for $28.
Yeah.
And we're the first people to ever drive it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's brand new.
So how many miles did it have on it? when
It
you
had
picked
100 miles on the clock when we got in it.
Wow.
So what did you guys get it up to yesterday on our drive?
We're up to 311 miles now.
No, I mean speed wise.
Oh, I don't know. Do we want to confess that?
Oh, you might not want to, actually. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. But you put it through its paces.
Yeah, we certainly like the sound it makes when you go fast.
We went for a bit of a drive. It was good. I took them out to the spot that we took the kids last weekend with the Baker Mountain in the background and the lake. And Oh man, it just was a perfect spot to go to.
So you had plenty of twisty roads to drive on then.
We had lots of straight roads. Straight roads where you can really make the engine growl.
Yeah.
And then some twisty roads where you can clench your butt cheeks.
And clenching we did. Although I think more clenching was had in Noah's car than.
Yeah. Considering it's literally a two-seater, this car, right? You can't really get a third person in the back. But somebody was so scared of Noah's driving that they actually volunteered to cramp themselves in the back of our car on the way back. We were considered the safe option.
And he's a tall gentleman, too. He's a tall gentleman. Yeah, Noah's driving a Camry. It's not a performance car. But that doesn't stop Noah from driving it like one. Well, so we are lucky this week, too, to have Ange back in studio once again. And we were talking about your trip to Canada last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you went and learned to take a punch.
Yep.
And you took advantage of another Canadian classic tradition.
Yes.
While
Well,
you're up there.
the martial arts seminar was actually secondary to this first goal, which was to try poutine.
Wow. Oh. So this was the reason you went. Okay.
Yeah, right?
I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, I know. But like a year and a half ago, Chase went to Canada, and he was tweeting about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need that in my mouth. Like where? Where can I get that?
As one says, right?
And the whole other room erupts.
Okay, I mean, that's how I talk, guys, but thanks.
Deal with it.
Anyway, so I went to Triple O's and I got a burger and a shake and poutine, and it was amazing. I really liked it, and I sent a picture to Chase and to our resident Canadian, Alan.
Yeah, we got to get Alan Juden here. You got to weigh in, Alan.
If the poutine came as a side, you didn't have real poutine.
Oh,
really? It could be a main course?
It was fast food.
It needs to be. Yeah, you don't want. You got to find real poutine where it's the whole meal, and it's not shredded mozzarella on top.
It
it's
wasn't
cheese curds.
It was curd.
Okay.
It was curds.
But yeah, if it's a side, that's
It was a
only
side.
approximation of poutine.
Oh, what did you think of the
Just
approximation?
imagine
Right.
what the real thing is like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when we brought we brought was it Wimpy? Were you with? I don't think it was just Popey that was with us when we went to Mod Pizza, right?
We were both there.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can speak to this then.
And for the benefit of the audience, Popey's on the other side of the room nodding at me.
Yeah. These guys think it's good pizza. They like, you
Mod
just don't know.
is good pizza?
Yeah, I mean it's decent,
It is good pizza.
but it's not great pizza.
It's
right?
not Round Table.
Well, I'm going to
Round
find
Table's
out.
better. Round Table is better. That's a great example. That's not. I was thinking Jimmy's.
Jimmy's is amazing.
Yeah, that's
Jimmy's
right. I
is top.
think we should take them to Jimmy's.
Jimmy's doesn't give me GI issues anymore.
Yay, friend. So see, it's what I'm saying. It's relative. So like if you haven't had great poutine and then you go there and you're like, this is pretty good.
Right.
You don't have any reference, right?
Well, I will say the brown gravy was like it tasted just like American brown gravy. There was nothing
Is that
special about
accurate?
the gravy.
Is that accurate, Alan? Is it supposed to just be regular? Yeah, get on the mic there.
Yeah, you got it at a fast food place, so obviously they weren't making a vat of gravy.
Damn it, Ange.
Yeah.
Damn it, you messed this thing up.
Beef or whatever.
Yeah. Well, if I would have consulted with Alan first, I might have made a better choice. So I will do that.
There's always a
It
redo.
wasn't scratch gravy.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
if the gravy came from a powder or something.
Yeah.
It's fast food. It's only going to get so good.
Yeah.
So would you have again?
Yeah.
You liked it?
I'll try to find it, legit.
Better place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it all soggy fries though?
Nope.
No. But the fries are very important. Though. Yes, you have to do like the double dip on the fryer thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
'Cause you got to get the fries hot.
Yeah.
And let them cook on the inside, and then cook on the outside more, so you can get crispy on the outside, so that the gravy doesn't make them soggy.
So Canadians double dip their fries, is what you're saying?
Well, if you're doing them for poutine, you definitely need to do it that way.
Huh.
Because you're going to soak them in gravy, and you don't want soggy fries. You want to be able to eat them. You don't want limp fries because
Right.
they're all soggy.
Right, yeah. Okay. That's good poutine advice we just got here on the show. That's valuable poutine information. Breaking poutine.
It's spoiled like when we have people from Europe at the BSD conference in Canada, it's in Ottawa, right on the border with Quebec. So it's got like very, very authentic poutine. And so it's a little easy. I don't know how you would get authentic poutine on the West Coast. I don't know if there's
Gotta make it
a place
yourself,
that does
I guess.
it or what.
Yeah, I don't know. Chase might know, but
There's a chain. Like I've seen a smoked poutine restaurant in Berkeley in California before. So the chain does spread to the U.S. sometimes.
Well, Ange, now you have more of a mission to complete there.
yes, I do.
So the poutine review from you, though, from what you tried, positive, would do again.
Yes.
Never had it. Never had it. The cheese curds turn me off on it. I don't like it. I don't know what it is.
I'm just. Are the cheese curds like lumpy, or do they get like creamy whenever they?
They're kind of lumpy. Like,
Yeah.
you know when you have a brick of cheese?
Yeah.
They just took the curds and squished them together into a brick, right?
I
You know that, right?
I know.
Like it's just
I have a hard time with cottage
not
cheese.
processed cheese. Well,
It's not cottage
cheese.
cheese.
It's nothing like that. There's no watery bits. It's just a slightly odd shaped chunk of cheese.
Okay, if it's not watery, I could
It's
deal with
definitely
it.
not watery.
Okay.
It should be dry.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go. Boy, now I know what to look for
Like
too.
your normal brick of cheese is just they took those curds and just compressed them together. into
Yeah,
a
I have cheese issues in general. I mean, not cheese, but I mean cheese. You know, not Adam cheese, but cheese. I just have a hard time with it. Although I'm turning into an old man. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I'm enjoying cheese and nuts now.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with you looking at me as you say the word old man.
I'm just trying to identify with anybody that might enjoy cheese and nuts.
Yeah,
I gave
cheese
Angela
and nuts.
too.
You looked at me, and that's.
I know.
I'm cheese and bacon, not cheese and nuts.
Nobody does this, like a little walnuts and some Asiago cheese or something.
Well, I mean, that's like the P3 Power Pack.
Yeah, that's where I started
It
getting
has,
hip
like,
to
the
this. Is on the
cheese and the-
airplanes.
and
The
the
airplanes are serving me these
arms.
protein packs, and I'm like, you know what I could do? I could have a protein pack at home.
Well, balance breaks are made at the grocery
Yeah,
store,
yeah.
and I do those sometimes, but
Yep.
I'm not supposed to have nuts.
No nuts? I bet you don't adhere to that diet. Oh!
How could you resist?
Is that awkward from your ex-husband?
It was wide open. It was wide open. I couldn't help it. Well,
I spent the whole of the Poutine conversation avoiding pointing out all the obvious innuendo.
Oh.
And then I realized like there's not.
Oh yeah, no, you might as well.
Right.
Here in America, we just take the low shots and take the easy ones, low hanging fruit, all about it on the live stream. Because Friday.
Yep.
So
Friday
on the poutine thing though, I'm curious. After Joe's condiment episode from User Error, where you can't have, and I agree with this 100%. You don't spread the ketchup all over the fries. You dip the ketchup into the fries.
Right.
Would you try poutine with gravy and cheese curds slathered on top of fries?
No way. The ratio is just all wrong.
I would dip it in gravy.
I can't believe I'm hearing about Joe and his ketchup issues again. We were having a conversation at a meetup at about 3:00 in the morning, and Joe is explaining to me in meticulous detail the exact precise amount of ketchup that you have on a chip or a fry over here.
What is the precise? I'd like to know, Joe. What is the exact precise amount of ketchup that you have on a chip, aka fry?
Well, I could tell you that, but it gets complicated because it depends on the thickness of the chip.
Hence why we were talking about this until 3:00 in the morning.
God,
I feel like it's like a third. Like a third of the fry can be covered in.
Yeah, that sounds about right. A third, I think.
But whatever you do, don't squirt your tomato ketchup over the chips.
No.
Joe will
That's sacrilege.
will do you bodily harm. That's utterly out of order as far as he's concerned.
I agree with that though.
Is it just ketchup, or is it all kinds of condiments on a fry? So say I got myself some honey mustard, which the Red Robin around here has got some killer honey mustard. And say I start dipping them steak fries in the honey mustard. Do I have to respect the ratio rules when it comes to honey mustard, or is it just apply to ketchup because it's ketchup?
No, all condiments. If you're into mayonnaise or whatever, you don't want to put it all over them. You've got to dip it in, and then you can be exactly precise about how much of the condiment that you have. Otherwise, you've got no control over it.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like the thing about the condiments is like I like to go to town. Like the fries are a delivery mechanism for as much condiment as I can fit in my mouth as possible. What, you don't agree? You don't
Meg
agree?
suggests Condiment Town.
Oh, you disagree with Joe? All right, Bobby, jump on mic here.
Yeah.
Share a mic. You gotta get in here and help me, because I think Joe, I'm onto the basic premise, but I have to argue with the applying it to all condiments. Like the honey mustard, for example, is just delicious.
Let's just start from Joe is wrong, right?
Okay, all right.
Start from there and work up.
Okay.
What, like I was wrong about XFCE?
Oh no! Already!
Honestly, Joe, you get two people to agree with your worldview, and suddenly you're right about everything.
Joe has a problem putting things in his mouth. Right?
Many of us do.
There's
Many
a lot
of
of
us.
shit that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah,
but he
that's
has a
no
real
problem.
problem putting stuff in his mouth. And I don't fully understand it. I think he needs help. But there are so many wonderful sauces in the world.
Yeah.
Tomato sauce and mayonnaise are just two great examples. And honey mustard is great as well.
Yeah.
But it just makes me so angry that
Why limit yourself?
Joe's life is being wasted
It's
on tomato sauce.
He's putting himself in a box.
There's so many other options out
I
there.
know.
it upsets me.
What about
really upsets me.
What about ranch? I mean, it's not everybody's favorite, right? But you got to give it a go every now and then.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Now-
Good
now,
ranch.
I don't want to upset you anymore,
Oh, for
Alan.
God's sake.
But Joe doesn't even like tomatoes, which he explained to me at great length, and then went into his whole thing about exactly what is the precise amount of tomato ketchup you should be putting on your chips.
Yeah, and I like pizza as well, but I don't like tomatoes.
You're triggering me because my wife and daughter both also love tomato sauce, love melted cheese, don't like tomatoes, and my daughter doesn't like raw cheese, and it drives me batty because I have to make separate portions of food that have slightly less cheese on them or no tomatoes in, just like separate different plates, and it's infuriating.
This is why I normally eat on my own and don't like eating with other people, because they judge me for my weird food choices.
Yeah,
they are correct to do that.
But every now and then you got to sneak out. What about just going no condiments at all then? Like, it just seems like it's too much to manage.
Dry?
Yeah, well, it's easier.
You like it dry?
It's like people that just wear one outfit all the time,
Well, people are afraid of spiders. Like, there's therapy. There's
no connection.
There's
No.
oh, there totally is. There's therapy.
I don't like spiders.
There's therapy you can get to help you overcome your fear
killing
of
them,
spiders.
killing them.
And there is therapy you could get, which is to get you over your fear of other sauces, other condiments.
You just try them. It's very simple. You try them.
Yeah. You don't need a doctor to tell you this.
No. There you go, Dr. Chris.
I've got a serious confession to make.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
There's two things that I like on my chips or French fries, and they are ketchup and vinegar. Ketchup has to be on the side, and the chips get dipped in it. Vinegar, on the other hand,
No.
all over them.
You spray it, don't
You're
you?
making them all soggy.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Well, if they get soggy, that's the fries' fault. If the fries cooked properly, it will stay crispy.
Okay, fair enough. I guess that's true. What do I know? I got American fries.
Fry the fries.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if you just fry them too long, you'll burn them. But if you fry them and then stop and let the
You gotta do the
heat sink
Canadian
into the
double
middle,
dip. Yeah.
and then fry the outside again.
I mean, today's the first time I've ever learned about the Canadian double dip. I didn't know.
It's not a Canadian thing. It's just the correct way
That's
to make
the correct way
French
to do
fries.
it, yeah.
Oh, wow. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Best practices.
The people are getting a little aggressive about the fries in the studio right now.
You finely slice your potatoes, you rinse them in water, you dry them down.
Sure.
You fry them once.
Right.
You take them out.
Okay.
You dry them down with the oil again. You leave them for 15 minutes, and then they go back in the oil again to go crispy.
Look, don't get these two started on anything potato-based. You've heard the Ubuntu podcast. They'll go on about potatoes for hours.
Well, we are famous for our quality roast potatoes.
Oh, God. Oh, really? Well, okay. I got to admit, the double dip fry technique does sound like a superior one. I don't think that's what they do around here. I think they just, and don't they just throw them in the fryer once and then pull them out?
Yep.
See? Ange has some standing in this area.
If you watch a good place, you'll see they dunk them in the fry, and then they come up. The basket comes out.
Yeah.
And they let it all in, and they sit there for like 5 minutes or more, or 10 minutes, and then into the fryer again.
Okay, well, here's what McDonald's does. They just let it beep and stay in the stay in the oil,
Yeah.
and then they bring it up.
Is that the high bar McDonald's?
Yeah,
I frequently
They're
it is.
not even made with potatoes.
That's
No,
questionable.
They're Washington potatoes. Come on. They're local
Is that what the
potatoes.
problem is?
Yeah, they're local. Come
Potatoes
on.
are supposed to come from the Yukon.
I have to ask.
Or Idaho.
I have to ask to get crispy fries. Otherwise, they're just soggy, worthless nothings. Wes Payne just arrived at the studio. Wes Payne's in the studio. Say hello to Wes Payne, everybody. Hello, Wes.
Hang on, does this mean I'm going to meet Wes on air?
Yeah, you're going to meet Wes on air. Isn't that appropriate? We should do a rotation. Ange, when you get a moment, will you let Wes slip in where you're at and then help us get some new blood in here? And well, I tell you what, this has been a very educational Friday stream already. If we get nothing else out of this stream other than my now understanding and knowledge of poutine and proper frying techniques, I've just learned about the Canadian double dip for fries.
Oh, that's an important. I mean,
We've been talking about poutine. Hey, Mr. Bacon, would you mind grabbing me a beer before you get
we
settled?
got beer.
Would you grab me
There's
a
some
beer?
cider.
I
It's probably
totally
terrible.
thought you were going to bring me one, Wes.
Wow, I know.
Thought you were going to be that guy
yeah.
that brought me a beer.
Wait,
No,
no,
I'm
that's
going
a
to be that guy for you.
I
I'm
didn't
going
want
to be
to
that guy
choose
for you.
you.
He was gonna give you his beer though.
I will. I still will.
That's a gentleman thing to do.
And
That
a
is-
scholar.
So, Wes, it's nice to meet you, man.
It is pleasure.
There it is.
Look at you and your handsome mug there.
Look at you and yours.
meeting on air for the first time.
I did grab some cider. It's probably terrible. I've never tried it.
Oh, really? Hey, grab me a cider, cheese. Thanks. That's good to know.
Looks like you've made it intact. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, my plane didn't crash and everything.
Sometimes that's a tall
There's
order.
always the flight back. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, sweets.
A Lush IPA.
Man, look at this
I
studio
said a damn
setup.
cider.
This is incredible.
I know. We got extra mics going. We really got Noah Chalaya. Yeah, sneak in here, Noah. Come on in here now.
The one, the only.
The one, the only Noah Chalaya.
Right there.
Yeah, grab on the. We don't have headphones, so just behave yourself. How many people do you think we got here right now?
Well, looks.
You want to fix that mic here? I'll
7 to 9.
Here, yeah.
Who are we? Oh, I see what we're doing. I see. I got you. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Hello to you. Oh, really? I already opened this beer, though. So, yeah.
IPA.
We got a lot of. Anybody want my IPA? What? Is that how many people we have in here? 23.
Wow.
23 people.
Fake Alan will have it.
That's pretty great.
What?
Fake Alan?
Trade some beer for driving the car, so Alan gets the beer.
Oh. The drive up to Bellingham is quite nice. It's very pretty.
Especially if you take checking it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
Slower, but
that
not
would
that
be
much slower.
fun. I'm going to be in the RV, so
How long does it take?
a little over maybe 50 minutes or so.
Right, okay, so 2 hours then, Poopy, that drive's going to take.
Sure did take me to get here. Woo, boy. Hopefully it's not the signal for the rest of this drive.
Is it because of the tulips? Is that why everything's backed up?
There is some tulip traffic, yeah. Yeah.
The tulip traffic.
Yeah. So here, get on mic here and tell me what you thought about this is a big thing we have in the Pacific Northwest is we have the Tulip Festival. Just grab one, any mic. What'd you think of the tulips?
It was awesome, dude.
So you're not see for me it's
Well, I mean,
the appeal is low.
I'm sure since you've grown up and been around here forever, it's not a thing. I think it's really interesting how the soil. I mean, it almost seems to be like what I would imagine the Netherlands weather and soil to kind of be like.
Sure.
It's like you were transported there.
Yeah.
And then Hadia today was telling me that actually the climate in Washington State and here is closer to the climate of France.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Where they also grow tulips. So
that's what they tell us.
It makes sense with the winery.
I thought it would be a
make,
little
too.
bit larger than it was. We got there like 10 a.m.
You're from Texas, dude. Everything's big in Texas.
Yeah. We got there like 10 a.m. and we left about 11:30. And by the time we left, the parking lot had already doubled in the amount of people that were there.
A lot of Canadians.
Dude, it was
full of Canadians.
I mean, nobody cared if you had a camera and they were walking into your frame.
Yeah, they don't care at all.
They just
it's ruthless out there.
It is. People want their pictures of the flowers.
Oh, and it's what's great is it specifically says, "Do not step into the roads."
Oh yeah, and people always do.
Just walk right into the middle of it. Like one lady was chasing her kid right down,
animals.
Like, I don't know, half an acre worth of tulips.
Animals. They're just animals for flowers.
Good times though. I mean, it was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
So I was telling folks that we had a good time yesterday. Took them out to Baker Lake.
Ooh, choice.
Yeah.
Back to the tulip thing for a minute.
Oh yeah, sure.
Is there a story behind why you have the tulips?
Yes.
You know what it is?
No, I do not know what the story is. But
he's not a tulip.
Do you
guy.
happen to know what the story is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's been ages since I've seen
Canada
it.
has something similar in our capital in Ottawa, but it's because during World War II we hid the royal family from the Netherlands in Canada so they wouldn't get killed by the Nazis, and so every year they send us like 1 million tulips.
All right, so Wes, why don't you look this up? I'm going to give you my guess. You want to know what my guess is?
Ooh, yeah.
Sure, let's see.
That's what I'm here.
All right, okay, let's see. We'll play a little game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chris is going to guess the purpose of Washington State Tulip Festival. Of course, we could just ask Hadia. She probably knows. But I'm going to say, off the top of my head, the Skagit County Tulip Festival is a representation of one very important thing that we hold very dear in Washington State, and that is the tulips are pretty. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is my prediction. What do you see? See anything? You find anything there, Wes?
I think George Gibbs, an immigrant from England, just came over and started growing tulips. He just made it a thing. Yeah. Eventually contacted people in the Netherlands and got their secrets. And
as Cheese Bacon specifically mentioned the Netherlands when he was talking about it, I thought there maybe was some kind of connection.
Yeah, you would think so, but
yes,
apparently not.
Like the Tulip Festival that happens in Ottawa is because literally the Dutch royal family sends Canada 1 million tulips every year in gratitude for them not being dead.
Fascinating.
I guess the Department of
them from the
Agriculture
Nazis.
did help. He petitioned them, and then he sent them a whole bunch of bulbs and turned it into a thing.
Their website says that it says, with all things governed by Mother Nature, the tulips blossoming according to their own schedule. Sometimes during the festival, the tulips allow us to share our unique corner and showcase The Skagit Valley Agriculture.
Skagit. I got to say, I think this is a milestone. This is probably the most boring thing we've ever talked about on a live stream ever. So, moving right along,
true.
I thought maybe Wes could bust our balls a little bit, Joe, because you and I got our old man cards handed to us this episode on Linux Action News. Episode 102, we covered the news that the OpenSSH project is strongly recommending people to stop using SCP.
I don't know. There's just something about SCP. I just learned it before Rsync, and so I just default to it.
Yeah, it's quick. It's muscle memory. I can send and receive SCP files around my network in seconds. You know, especially when you have keys, and it's just. I love it more than going on a Windows box and going to the run prompt and putting the server name and using the whole UNC path. Like, that feels old and clunky compared to using SCP. Not that I can't. Again, SFTP, Rsync, it's fine. This is my moment, though. Here we are, 2019. Like, this is my moment. It's like, hey, old man, stop using this old SCP thing. I'm like, okay, all right. I'll take that advice on. Like, I'll do it. Just not going to do it without complaining.
I mean, I got to complain a little bit.
I think that is your job.
So you were listening to Linux Action News, as you do.
As I do.
And you're like, man, these guys are getting old.
No, it was more just, I feel like you should be aware that if you're just doing simple SCP stuff, you could probably just alias rsync as SCP and you won't know a thing. If you're just doing like SCP file remote server,
fair enough.
rsync will be exactly the same. And probably slightly better.
I mean, I grant you that it's a better utility and that it's better at copying files over the network, but why should I do it?
I mean, that's up to you. But if you're considering it,
Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, I mean, why are they deprecating SCP? Because
if you think back to probably November or so, a bunch of vulnerabilities in SCP were discovered, where an attacker could trick your SCP client into telling you it was downloading the file you asked for, but actually give you a different file. Yeah. Or
I do remember
download two files and then run one of them and stuff.
Right.
And so it turns out there's a fundamental problem with the protocol that can't be fixed just by patching OpenSSH. The problem is with the protocol, like when you transfer a file, it doesn't have to be the file that you actually asked for and so on. It's just a badly designed protocol because we didn't know better in the early 90s.
Is there any particular reason why everybody feels the need to use SCP? Like, what would be wrong with just switching to rsync?
That's Wes's
rsync
argument.
Is maybe more heavyweight. It's doing more things, right? It's always trying to do the checksum and stuff. So the recommendation from the SSH people is to use SFTP.
Yeah.
Which is fine, except for sometimes you want to be able to just specify the whole command at once and not
so
go interactive.
annoying to try to do just on the command line.
That's the thing. So what were you going to say, Poby?
It's considerably fewer presses on the keyboard. It's
Yeah.
really that simple. I
that's what
type
it is.
SCP because it's fewer presses than rsync minus E minus AVZ minus blah blah blah. I just type SCP thing from here to there.
If you just do -A, it includes all the archiving flags, and you don't have to do anything else.
But
Just
SCP
easier.
is 3 characters.
Yeah.
Rsync is more
Yes.
than 3 characters.
You know what?
It
That's
is
an
as simple
accurate
as-
statement.
Yes.
That's an accurate statement.
And so
Scientifically correct.
I don't know what the right answer is for coming up with a utility that provides something like SCP, but without the problems that the SCP protocol has.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Like
most
maybe SCP could just be re-implemented as a non-interactive wrapper for the SFTP
Yeah,
protocol.
that seems like it makes
so
sense.
that the way you interact with SCP would be exactly the same, just under the hood it would actually do an SFTP transfer rather than using SCP's broken protocol.
Because that's all we care about. It's
Yeah.
just the UI. We like the experience of interacting with it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, real talk. No, I mean, don't you like if you're sending files between two machines? You know, they don't have Samba, they don't have FTP, but they both have SSH. Aren't you still using SCP?
100%. Yeah, I mean, I've tried to hinder my use of it, but the truth is old habits die hard, right? And the reality is that when you're deep into system administration, you're not paying attention of, well, what was the latest security practice that came out and what's the new way to... No, I need the way that gets the job done right this moment.
And you've been doing it for 10 plus years.
Right now,
Yeah.
my thought process is not about all of these other things. My thought process is about getting the client fixed so I can get back to doing other things.
When
Yeah.
you're using SCP, are you moving single files around or?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the
Yeah.
time you're... Because any
Toss
large...
a new script up on a server or something like that.
If you are using rsync anytime you're trying to do any sort of backup or anytime you're going to move a directory of files or something like that, then you want to use some of the archiving functionality. But most of the time, what we're talking about is you're in a server, you say I need to move that config file up, or I have to move this off my laptop, or from this server to that server, and you're using SCP.
I just never find myself in the position where I'm moving a file. I'm usually moving
Even with a config file?
lots of stuff.
Even like a config file.
Well, no, I use orchestration tools for that sort of thing.
Well, but what if you're in somebody? I mean, you're not going to set up an orchestration environment. Well, I guess you don't work on client machines though. Like I'm oftentimes, but I'm just saying, like if you're in a client's machine, you're not going to set up an orchestration environment just for that one client that one time, right?
I always used to set up orchestration tools.
Okay.
It's like you always create a group, even if there's only going to be one user in the group. You never assign the permissions to the user. You create a group and assign the permissions there.
Okay.
I find myself doing it for like files all the time, but I end up just, especially on local networks, I just throw it over Netcat. I know it's terrible.
Yeah, he does. He Netcats all the things.
Okay, here, let me ask you this.
Like, we don't like, we need to do a better job, but like, I don't have my key on all the studio machines or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And on a LAN like this, where we're just moving some, like an audio file or whatever it might be, it's not a big deal.
Let me ask you this. Have either of you ever stored a file on a web server so you could get it back down onto a different machine?
I'll probably have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hands are going up in the studio.
I really love Ruby's built-in web client. Python has one too. It's trash. It's garbage. It's super slow. It does not handle multiple client accesses well at all. Ruby's, it's great.
I use the Python thing all the time.
Yeah, it's not bad for like limited stuff, but if you're trying to do like, sometimes I'll use it to like play media to the Chromecast, for instance.
Oh, right.
And it just kind of barfs on heavy files.
Every time I do, it depends. When I do a listen back of the edits that I've done, I basically, sometimes I just sit at my machine, but if I want to go for a walk while I'm listening to it, I put it on my phone, and just the quickest way to do that wirelessly is Python-M simple HTTP server.
Yeah, that's good. And then you just pull it down in your browser?
Yeah. Exactly, on the phone.
But if you ever do need to do like Netcat, but further away, where the bandwidth delay product is going to get you, there's a tool called Via Millipede.
Ooh.
And millipedes are the insects with many legs. And so it makes like 16 TCP connections, so the input and the output are still a pipe. So it takes care of the synchronization for you, but it can get more of the bandwidth by just using multiple TCP sockets underneath, and it can handle a TCP connection getting broken and reconnecting.
Ooh,
so it can also deal with interruptions and stuff.
That seems very nice.
So
like if you already have a VPN set up.
More complicated replacement for Netcat in the cases where you need to just do multiple links. It can also handle if you have multiple internet connections. Or like if your laptop has Wi-Fi and the Ethernet.
Or like a multi-home sort of setup.
Yeah, sure.
And so it can actually use both as two separate TCP connections, and it knows, you give it a priority list, so saturate the Ethernet, and only if you're actually saturating the Ethernet, then also use the Wi-Fi. But know that the Wi-Fi is slower, so don't try to send the same speed out of both.
Hard,
if you're using many connections, put like most of them on the Ethernet, but some of them on the Wi-Fi or whatever.
That sounds great.
Really cool.
If we're recommending tools to use instead of SCP, I've actually realized I don't use SCP as much now because I use Magic Wormhole instead. So Magic Wormhole is a tool you can run that will bypass things like firewalls and NAT and things like that. So if I want to send a file to you, I don't care where you are on the planet. I just type wormhole send and then the name of the file or a directory, and it will compress the directory, and then it will give me a code. I tell you the code via some secure channel, via voice or Telegram or whatever, and you type the code, it wormhole receive the code, and it will just buzz the file straight to you from me to you. If it's a directory, it'll zip it up and then send the compressed file and then uncompress it at your end. But it means I don't even have to think about networking. So long as both machines have internet access, I can just say wormhole send from here and wormhole receive over there. But I'm so lazy, I even do it between two machines on my own LAN, like rather than SCP, because I don't need any passwords or anything. I just type wormhole send on one, wormhole receive on the other, type the password in, done.
Is this free software then?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Snap install.
Oh, here we go.
Can I just point out that wormhole is more characters than rsync? I mean, I did the math on this. I'm right.
Scientifically correct.
But you don't have to type in. Well,
you don't have to remember all of that.
Oh God, I can't get out of this.
No, you use fish shell and you just tab complete.
Yeah,
job done.
Complete. Yeah. I only guess W.
Yeah.
The wormhole.
Yeah.
Then
You need the W command.
Oh my goodness.
Don't think I've
who have the
ever
same
typed-
command.
I've never typed W, ever.
You should see it. It's much better than who.
Hey, there he
Yeah, it
is.
is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chase New. Say hi to the live stream, Chase.
Hi to live stream.
Welcome, Chase.
Hey, Chase, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see. Man, you're looking good.
Sharp.
Look at
as
this
ever.
son of a bitch. Look at this guy.
Good thing no one can
Go get
see
on.
me
Go stand by Noah. Go get on the mic over there.
I'm seeing.
Go look at this Chase News. He's probably lost an entire person in weight. He looks amazing. Chase. Oh yeah.
I have lost an entire person.
Yeah? How much have you lost total?
About 140 pounds.
Holy, round of applause, everyone.
Oh, shit.
Come on, 140. Wow.
You don't have to do that, man.
That's amazing. That is a fucking
Yeah.
accomplishment.
Thanks.
That is incredible.
How did you do it, man?
Coke.
Well, you've heard we got a little bit of a meth problem down in Seattle.
Yeah.
No, here you go, shameless plug time. But I'm on a program called 30-10 Weight Loss. They're based out of Bellevue. They got a few locations in the local area, and I've been on it for the past year, and I've lost 140 pounds, and I'm still chiseling away. I got a little bit more to go.
Does it feel different?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
More energy? What's different?
More energy. I'm able to do things. I mean, obviously, I took a trip to Iceland. I was there for 2 weeks, and if I didn't lose this weight, I probably would have been dead within the first week.
Really? A lot of hiking and stuff?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, the one thing I was worried about is, my diet's real restrictive right now. So
were you able to stick to it while you traveled?
No, hell no. But the ironic thing is, through all the hiking, and actually a lot of European countries have a lot. Their foods don't have a lot of additives. And so, oddly enough, when I came back, I had my weigh in, and I was down 4 pounds on the way back.
You must have been super relieved.
Well, yeah, I was stressed a bit, though. I mean, I had a lot of Icelandic hot dodogs, a lot.
You're making me hungry.
Dude, their hot dogs are awesome.
How many's a lot?
They're delicious.
I think I'm pro any.
More than 10?
Maybe a couple a day.
I mean, you're traveling. You got to experience the local culture.
So you're having
delicious.
You're eating 2 hot dogs a day?
Well, yeah, but they're Icelandic hot dogs.
It sounds like
they're
a diet
different.
I could handle.
They have onions on them? What do they got?
Yeah, so it's a lamb-based hot dog.
Oh.
With this special Icelandic mustard, remoulade sauce.
Let's not get into condiments.
Yeah, what's the ratio of the mustard to the...
Oh, God. Oh, no.
It's decent. It's not overwhelmingly gushy, I guess you would call it. I don't know, maybe a 1-to-2 ratio. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, no,
Satisfying.
I mean, I've been feeling great, man.
Good.
It feels awesome.
It's funny that me, Popey, and Wimpy are all looking a bit sheepish now because we're slightly portly, aren't we, chaps?
Fuck me, dude. I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's true. It's an inspiring story. You got a good spokesperson for that. What's the plan again? What is it again?
30-10 weight loss.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a good. That's.
I've done a commercial TV. I've done radio.
I thought you'd say it was I quit doing on the Unfilter show and the weight just fell off.
The stress is gone. You don't
I
have to
stopped
eat.
doing Unfiltered.
Actually, all that stress just melted away.
The burden of the world.
That's right. I have a nice healthy diet of no collusion, no obstruction. It's delicious. I just fill it up. It's so good. Man, we still get like tweets
every day almost.
I know.
Wow.
Especially right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about right now
nothing,
at all.
Nothing.
You would need to just be your full-time thing, right? Like if you did one show, you could maybe do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, we're not in the same space, and it's not like you have a bell or anything that we could possibly ding.
No,
not at all. No.
No bells. We got rid of all the bells after Unfiltered. I think actually the Red Books, it's over there as a beer coaster right now. So, you see.
Wow, what the last? Do you remember what the last entry is?
No, I don't think we filled it up. So we kind of went digital after a while. We started keeping track in that Telegram
It's
thread.
the last analog entry.
Yeah.
Quick update from Joe's wife. I got bored when you guys started talking about computer stuff. I'm in bed now. Night.
You have to explain to her. We had to talk about the computer stuff because all the geeks were getting bored by the condiment stuff.
Yeah, did she want us to go back to more tulips? Is that what you're saying?
I was going to say, so far we've only had one tech segment. We've so far covered poutine, condiments, and tulips.
I got tech for you.
All right.
I just set up the Android Auto, or I'm sorry, not Android Auto, Alexa Auto, the Echo Auto from Amazon.
Cancel.
It's not great. It's okay.
Yeah?
It's $25 if you get invited in to do it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I tried a third-party product that kind of did that like a year ago, and it's a little hit and miss. It's because you got to have a good, solid connection.
Yeah. If you're like right on the fringe, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the voice detection kind of falls apart and stuff.
By the way, you're gonna laugh at this. So episode 223 was the last analog entry.
Okay, all right.
6 months Trump wall.
Oh, would there be a wall?
Yeah, and here our predictions were both no. So I guess we got that right.
We did get that right.
We got that right.
261, we definitely got that right. Well,
But
I think we probably got most of those right.
Yeah.
I think we had a good batting average.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we called it as we saw it.
Boom.
As they say.
That's what they say. Well, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Glad you made
How
it.
you feeling about? I mean, there's like so much to do. I mean, Linux Fest is.
How you feeling about the stream?
Nice.
You think we're gonna pull it off?
All right. So full disclosure, I'm bringing a Windows box. Sorry.
Whoa. This is the first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God!
Fascinating.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, we'll somehow persevere.
Yeah, I know. No, actually, I've been gearing
Is it
up.
Windows 10?
It is running Windows 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
I'm taking it in waves.
Yeah.
You just wanted to use that subsystem for Linux, though, right? That's the whole reason.
True. We could install the subsystem for Linux.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay, then
Yeah,
we're good.
sure.
We're good.
You want to throw an SS in?
Yeah,
we
we're
can
good.
do it.
Yeah, we'll install Ubuntu on there. Call it good. Of
course you will.
Yeah, but no. Actually, I've been gearing up a lot of stuff because of all the pinball stuff that I've been doing. That's at the end of May. Tacoma, Washington. Go down, play some pinball. The Northwest Pinball and Game Room Show. Really awesome stuff. But all that gear is in the back of my car right now.
Boy. Oh yeah, tonight's setup night.
Tonight's setup night. So we're gonna have a 1080p 60 stream. It's gonna be slick and smooth.
Nice.
All right, now you're turning me around a little bit. I'm feeling a little better now.
Yeah.
There are benefits to that.
Oh yes,
software.
There's a little bit. I mean, it's funny. Thanks to social media, we get a lot of flashbacks. From all the times that we've done Linux Fest Northwest. And all
Thanks, social media.
And all the times that we've had issues, and all the times that
it's all been fun though.
Yeah, it's been great.
It feels a little empty, like not having an emergency computer build right now. Do you feel a little empty, like we're missing something?
I've walked around a couple of different times. Actually, true story. I've probably had this conversation about 3 times. People have said, "How you feel about Linux Fest?" I said, "Honestly,
I don't know.
I feel pretty useless." Like most of the time, there's something to be said about the
Down to the
sexiness
wire.
of being up till 4 a.m, sleep drunk from 72 hours and not sleeping
I
with
know.
Alan Jude, reading about cow messages, copy on write because that was the best error they could come up with because you couldn't boot to SDC. I mean, that's the thing that happens when you're trying to build a thing. But I do want to point out. And I think Chase should back me up on this. Last year, we had a Dell XPS running Ubuntu stock. It was tested before it got shipped here.
Yep.
We brought it out, and it worked.
Yes.
So, I mean, we were making progress.
Yes.
I mean, we got there.
Yeah, we did. We did get there. We did.
So just so I'm clear, what you're saying is Ubuntu just works.
We're running it right here.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, these are all Ubuntu machines, actually. This year, I was really on the fence about doing a stream in general because what happens is it becomes my sole focus. And then I don't pay attention to networking. I don't pay attention to all the other courses and tracks. And I don't walk away with a good picture of what the fest was like. And so this year I thought about just not doing one at all. And just so that way I could focus. And I thought, you know what? The option to do is to see if I can work with Chase. Chase is going to take care of all that. And then I'll be on air and stuff, but it's not that big mental CPU sucking kind of background task leading up to Linux Fest, and I think that's probably good. It's low stress.
All we need is
What?
Yeah.
What?
He was
just a few things.
Alan was just saying that we did it.
What?
You weren't here. You were asleep.
The stress of it. Oh yeah, you're right. I see what you're saying. No, I had to bear the burden of the stress, Noah.
Okay.
It's lonely at the top, Noah.
Whatever you say, Chris.
It's lonely, Noah.
Hey, if you say so.
You're just turning fitfully in your sleep. Is it going to work? Are they going to finish?
Yeah, man. While you're down here working.
He walked up to you. He literally walked up to you. He's like, well, good luck, guys. I'm going to bed. I'm tired.
Dude, while you're down here working all night, I'm tossing and turning in my comfortable bed. It's rough. It's rough. But this year, I don't worry about it because we got Windows on the job now. So
I think we have enough people. We can keep the stream going without you having to be there, Mike.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we have plenty of
You know,
people.
I think before we close this,
You gotta get on there,
before we close this out, we should definitely have a roll call and have everybody that's just here kind of pop in and say
yeah.
who they are and what's up.
I think we'll go for a little bit longer too. Alex, I want you to get a chance to get in there and say hi. So, Alex here, Chase, why don't you set that guy back down there in the thing? I'll mute that.
Are you guys good with beverages? You need another beverage?
I wouldn't mind another cider. Yeah, if you don't mind. Thank you, Cheese.
Alan is waving his empty beer can around.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Cheese. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Badger himself in studio.
Well, me only.
The first time in studio. Welcome to Washington State, Mr. Badger. It's good to have you. Get on the mic. You got to get right in there. Put that thing right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you need to move it up? You can move it up. Go ahead.
This is fine.
So, what do you think of my state?
Beautiful.
Really? You're not just saying that because I'm putting you on the spot?
We flew in from Raleigh this morning over Spokane, over the mountains.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you regret moving to Raleigh? You should have moved here, right? I mean, you regret everything.
The mountains speak to me in a way that North Carolina doesn't.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. The water does too when you get to the coast.
What about all the trees, man? Did you notice that?
We have trees too. They're not mutually exclusive. Although they are a bit
more here.
Taller.
Yeah, and we have more of them. Denser.
Yeah.
This is great. I was just listening to the latest user error, and you guys were talking about how much do you get outside, and your version of outside sounded sort of like walking around the block.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like hikes in the
I
mountains.
know, yeah, exactly. Well, I was driving Elle up to show her a mountain the other day because she hasn't really seen a mountain,
Right.
And the whole discussion about going out for a weekend hike, that's just not something people do in some areas. Like there aren't weekend hikes. But this place, it's like if you don't go on a weekend hike, they'll revoke your Washington card.
negligent, yeah.
So here's the thing about North Carolina, Raleigh in general. I really like it. It's very comfortable. It's got everything you need. Like there's a Target just around every corner, and it's very comfortable to live there. It reminds me a lot of Basingstoke in England. That's probably not a great thing.
Amazing Stoke, I think you'll find it's called.
Well,
all right, okay. Everyone stop slagging off Basingstoke. It's brilliant.
I grew up there. Just for clarification, yes.
So for the record, just so everyone understands, I live just outside Basingstoke right now. So
and if you know what the irony is, you two are meeting in Seattle. That's
I know. Right? So you live in the US now.
I do.
We're meeting for the first time. So did you grow up in Basingstoke or around about?
I did. A place called East Oakley, just outside.
Okay. I know Oakley. Yeah, I used to play at Oakley Tennis Club.
Oh, cool. Okay. I cycled past there on my little BMX when I was 5 years old.
5,000 miles away, guys.
That's brutal. Now,
so to finish my point about Raleigh in general,
back on your point.
It's a very suburban sort of town. You come to a big city like Denver or Seattle, and it just has a vibe that you just don't get in a sleepy suburban town. There's nothing wrong with a suburban town for some people, but
it can be wonderful actually.
For me, I don't know, it just lacks that.
You
certain
want a little more richness.
Je ne sais quoi.
This is your man right here. Mr. West Payne is a downtown man of town.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I moved from London, and there's not many cities can probably compete with London itself, right? I mean, you got such a melting pot of cultures in there, but
history.
And history, yeah. I mean, history in America is 200 years, but history in Europe is forever, right?
Society.
We've killed all the animals in Europe. That should tell you how long we've been there.
We're working on that. We'll get there. Yeah.
But one person's example of a good weekend in North Carolina is the mountains are 3 hours away, as if that's close, and the beach is 3 hours away the other way, as if that's close. And I'm just thinking to myself, nah. If I lived in Seattle, it'd be 3 minutes to the beach.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Although our beaches are
a little rocky.
Yeah, a little rocky.
Cases,
they're probably nice to look at, less so for sunbathing.
Edmonds has sand.
Yeah,
Edmonds
if you know where to look.
But most of our Pacific Northwest beaches are rocky. They're not sandy.
Yeah. And I haven't lived through a North Carolina summer yet, which the word on the street is it's going to be 30 plus Celsius, whatever that is in freedom units. I'm not sure, but
when are you going to bring your golf up here? That's what I want to know.
Sorry?
I'm your golf, because when I'm driving around, I'm thinking I'm going to take Alex on this road.
Yeah.
So you got to get your car up here.
Yeah, I was going to drive here this week, but I mean, it's 3,000 miles.
Oh, I know.
Each way.
I know.
That's a long way. So
it is.
I took the plane instead.
I don't blame you.
Also step into Chris's car at your peril.
He has the same car, so I think he'd be fine.
Mine has a tune applied, so mine has more horses than his.
Ooh. He got one that's been upgraded.
Yeah, I just flashed the cash and got a better one.
So yeah, he knows. He knows.
I love it actually. So I had a GTI in England for 2 years, and the last thing I did with it, I took it to Brands Hatch for a track evening, probably about 3 days before I emigrated actually, and then some poor sucker bought it off me like 2 days after this track day, and when I came into the pits one time, the brakes were smoking because it was that hot, and I'm thinking, well, they aren't my brakes anymore, so screw it, let's go.
As we were driving back from the mountains yesterday, I was following Noah, and I actually said, has anyone noticed that every time Noah's brake lights come on, brake dust appears out of the way?
When Noah got to our final destination, he pulled up behind me, and his brakes were basically on fire.
Yeah, they were cooked.
Yeah, they were cooking when they...
But he's driving a Camry.
Yeah, he was trying to keep up with me in the GTI. Yeah, well, I had to let him pass eventually because I literally had a revolt on my hands. I had a full-fledged in-car revolt, and I think they would have had my head if I kept going.
I began to have a revolt in my car.
Did
so
you?
What happened was, I looked ahead. At first, we lost each other.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go, we lost each other because you were driving off and I got caught behind a truck.
Yeah, but I pulled over, and I was hoping everybody would catch up, but we didn't.
So I got back on the interstate. I decided I was going to speed a little bit. I was going to use a little excessive
as I kind of expected you
miles
might.
per hour so I could catch up. And what I didn't realize early on was that the people in the other car weren't used to driving a little bit above the speed
That
limit.
was what I came to realize later too.
So I'm driving down and I came up behind you and I realized that it was you because you started wagging your ass at me.
Yeah, so that way you knew it was me. Yeah,
and
I like to
appreciated
shake
that.
my ass at you.
Yeah, and it was it was
a little
really
messaging.
welcoming gesture.
I recognize you. Hey, good job. It was
And
a hey,
thank
good job.
you. And I appreciated
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
so I reciprocated by getting really close just
Right.
to say hi.
Right on my bumper.
Which also made everybody else
Right, kind of like
upset.
a car hug.
And then we actually had a conversation, in-car conversation, about the fact that when I first started driving, I said I couldn't imagine the concept of adjusting the car radio, this, that, and the other, right?
Oh, sure.
So Alan then pointed out, that he said, I just watched you driving just a couple feet in front of Chris, behind Chris, take a video on your phone.
It was taking a video on your phone while driving with your leg to get on the
Oh,
the
yeah,
on
you're-
ramp.
This is insane.
You're on-ramp.
You're
Like,
doing
not
the-
driving
you're
straight,
steering with the knee. Steering with the knee. Oh, yeah.
with the knee
Yeah,
to take
sure.
the on ramp onto the highway.
Well, he's got to use his phone while he's merging on the freeway. I mean, that's understandable.
So after we got done at the restaurant, then we decided to continue on, and that's when things got a little more fun.
Yeah.
Because we decided that we were going to get there a little faster than originally planned.
Right.
And so I looked down and I noticed that I was going the speed limit. I just had an extra digit.
A multiplier of the speed limit, you
Right,
might say.
exactly.
Yeah. And, perhaps that Camry doesn't have performance brakes. So
Didn't smell like it.
No,
It
sure
doesn't,
didn't.
it doesn't have any brakes today.
It doesn't have much performance.
Just got to
either.
coast.
I drove a Toyota Camry. Let me tell you something. The drifting is much better than they advertise. Its ability to maintain road traction, even at high rates of speed.
Control off.
Oh, yeah, we have to have traction control.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
For safety.
Did you actually manage to break traction, though? Did you manage to...
A little bit. I started to catch up, and then I wanted to back off
Yeah.
because, a rental car, and I didn't
Yeah.
really want to go sliding into a tree.
Right. You guys say it on mic. Say it on mic. If you're going to say it, you guys say it on mic.
I'm just saying that's exactly why you should destroy that car because it's a rental.
You've
Oh, wait,
seen
did it-
you've seen the Top Gear, right?
you should be really polite with the rental car.
A rental car is
Responsible.
the fastest car in the world. You know this.
Which is? I thought the CTSV was the fastest production car.
No, a rental car is.
It's a Top Gear reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Although they're going to start putting like trackers in that stuff.
Of
So the thing is, on the way up here from SeaTac, I saw at least 5 state troopers on
Yes.
on
Yeah.
5.
Washington is
yeah.
a mess with.
I couldn't believe it. Like, I mean, Carolina, I see one every hour, maybe.
That's something else I don't think the passengers fully appreciated is there is one stretch of Washington. There's some stretches in Washington where you can actually speed and there's no cops, and we were on one of those stretches. And like when you are oppressed by an aggressive, monetized driven police force that between here and 20 miles up the road there will be 6 cops. It's excessive. It's excessive. And so when you finally get on a road that has no police, what are you going to do? You're going to go a little bit faster.
I just want to point out that I got into my car this morning and I was alarmed to see a little sticker that said, "This vehicle transmits data back to Toyota and is monitored. To disable, press this button."
Which you did not press.
I did not press that button before we went on, after mentioned race, not race.
No.
Casual drive.
Yeah, a stroll, if you will.
Efficiency optimization.
200 kilometer per hour adventure.
I don't do kilometers.
Car hugs
Yeah.
at speed.
I think 200 kilometers is about 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Just carry the one.
Yeah.
I believe you convert by just making up the number you want, and then no one ever calls you out on it.
Well, that's what you did with Fahrenheit when you invented that. So.
Yes, we did.
Man, we never have to. When these guys come in from town, we just come from out of town. We just never hear the end of it. I tell you what. I was getting a whole lecture on the metric system over lunch.
And last night.
I mean, we just like to mix, right? You buy a 2-liter bottle of soda and
That's
then
true.
a gallon of milk
That
because
is-
we're crazy fools.
That is very true.
We imparted some British wisdom on you, though. A US gallon is not equivalent to a real gallon.
Right.
I mean, an imperial gallon. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
A U.S. king
Yes.
size bed is not
Yeah.
True. So I ordered a new mattress when I moved here, and I ordered a king size because I want to sleep like a king,
Right.
obviously.
You deserve it.
One does.
And it's twice the size of my king size bed in England was. It's actually enormous. It's huge.
So
I think
how are you and the wife adapting to American life? How has that gone?
Sleeping on the floor by the sounds of it.
Well, so it was a challenge because for the first 2 months, Catherine was back in England.
Yeah.
Waiting for her green card to come through.
Did you guys like Skype up and stuff during that time? Like, how
Yeah.
did you stay in contact?
Video calls. Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah.
You know, we've been together
2
for
months is a long time.
12 years. So, 2.5 months was, I felt every day of that.
Mhm.
But so I arrived on the plane with 2 suitcases and a backpack into this house with no furniture.
Oh my gosh,
That is hard.
What did you do?
And then, so we arrived on the Sunday.
And did you want to buy stuff without her?
I had to.
Some
I
stuff.
bought the car without her. So
Well,
that's why-
that was a good call.
That was one of the reasons I went for a GTI, honestly, because I had one in England. I knew what it was like. It was a known quantity, so I thought, let's just go for what I know. And anyway, because she knew it as well. But the thing was, I arrived on the Sunday, and Hurricane Florence was due in North Carolina on the Thursday. So my first 4 days wasn't worried about emigrating and buying a bed or furniture. It was, how am I going to survive this hurricane, the biggest one ever? And then we woke up on Wednesday morning, and it took a big turn south, and it avoided Raleigh completely in the end. Pretty much.
So when you get this new place, is the ISP the first service you made?
I actually, so I have this distinct memory, sat in my lounge in London, ringing an American AT&T number.
Getting it before you even got in the country?
Because I could get gigabit fiber connected. So I arrived on the Sunday and the fiber was connected on the Monday.
Well done.
That is beautiful.
Well, I booked it 6 weeks in advance, so I was all good to go.
Well, I benefit from that fiber connection on a near daily basis these days.
With lots of Linux ISOs.
Yes.
Via SCP.
Yeah, what really well, and Plex streaming.
Yeah, Plex is pretty cool.
Ooh. Yeah. Who was it? Alan, you just got into Plex? Alan's recently got into Plex too. So
I can't compete with him. I mean, I bought a bunch of hard drives from Best Buy. They had these 10 terabyte hard drives for $160 a pop. So I just bought 8 of them and shoved them all into a box.
And there you go.
But I can't compete with this man.
What are you getting off those? About 60 megabytes a second?
Yeah.
Tell me now. I mean, share as much as you want to share, but you have a very efficient collection mechanism. Whatever you're using to back things up off the internet is very. So tell me about your system, because like I'll fire up Plex and you'll have 3 or 4 new series. Apparently, just like last 2 weeks ago, you went like on this Disney tear and got a whole bunch of Disney movies, which is great for the kids. So
I share it with about 20 people.
Yeah.
A few of which are in this room. And I get requests come in. So one of the guys I share it with at work, he asked for his kids, can I have all the Disney stuff?
Yeah.
And there's a Plex Collections subreddit where people post posters, artwork and all that kind of crap. And I actually use that just as inspiration. So when I have nothing better to do with my time,
it's kind of fun. I do the same thing.
Just go through and add it into this program called Radar, which
I've used Radar. Okay.
Which grabs it.
Good job you've got all that Red Hat money to buy all those files off iTunes then, eh?
Right, yeah, he's buying them.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, I bought a Steven Wilson concert on iTunes, who is the lead singer of a band called Porcupine Tree. Really little esoteric guy, does some very complicated music that most people probably don't like. But I have bought this movie and I cannot watch it because of the DRM. I don't want to plug my laptop into the TV and
I've been there, done that.
So I'm kind of on the fence about whether I just screen grab for 2 hours and just back it up that way, but it's kind of infuriating, really.
Yeah, that's it. What do you do?
I have a friend that works for the U.S. government, and so he's paranoid about downloading things.
Oh, sure.
So he has an old-fashioned Netflix by mail subscription still, and a giant queue, and he just rips the DVDs they mail him and then sends them back.
That's how I got most of my Star Trek. Really, is I just did that.
That's clever.
And then what I had Netflix, I bought. I have bookshelves full of DVDs, and I look at myself and I go, I'm never in my life, for the rest of my life, I will never put another disc in a drive. Unless I'm ripping it. I will not put it to watch it.
I wonder what he's using to rip those. Is it handbrake or something
Make
similar
MKV
to that?
and then you throw it in a handbrake.
Or it's going to be FFmpeg under the hood, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's all FFmpeg.
Everything
under the
is.
hood. Yeah, everything is, yeah. Oh, we got to give Wes a hard time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we
Yes,
forgot
you
about this.
bastard.
Yeah, we've been, hold on.
Show-destroying bastard.
What did
This
I do?
is good. We saved it. We saved it for the live stream just for fun.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on now. We had a mystery afoot. So the BSC Now program was recorded in studio. Well done. Thank you to Wes Payne. Ran the board. He was our engineer for the episode. Like a boss, created the frames, got it all set up in OBS so we could stream right here from the studio. And after we were all done, we have a special arrangement for the BSD Now program where Angela actually edits it because it's video. It's our last remaining full video show. And so it's a little awkward, and Angela edits it, and she does a great job. So to get the files to a remote editor, you need to convert them from the nearly uncompressed ProRes format to H.264 of some kind. We learned, what was it, Alan? It was like
It turns out the MP4 container type
does not support 24-bit PCM
audio
in Little Endian.
Right.
If you signed Little Endian.
Right. Now, if you use Big Endian, that would have been fine.
I don't know, but if you tell FFmpeg to make to just copy the audio from the ProRes into the MP4 container, it will copy it, but it for some reason incorrectly labels it as being signed Big Endian.
Yeah.
And so when you play it,
Yeah.
all you get is high-pitched whistling and snow.
White noise.
Is that not what BSD now sounds like?
So, look at this. Is okay. So
That's-
Wes,
yo,
Wes
yeah.
had renamed all the recording
Yeah.
files to the segment.
And we still
site.
had the source files.
Yeah, and we had the source files
Yeah.
for the main segment
Yep.
and the roundup segment
Right.
and the feedback segment.
Right, so we had one file. We had two,
3 files.
but there was a fourth file.
Yeah, so there's 4 output files, but only 3 input files. And I'm like, what happened?
So there's
And I
there's
looked through
4
the command
MP4s, 3 source files.
Yeah.
Something's missing. I telegram
Exactly.
Wes. I'm like, Wes, where's the cold open? We can't find it. And Wes is like, oh, it should just be in the source
Yeah,
files.
so I scroll through the command history in the shell, and nothing really about that file, and go to the other tab, and there's Wes typing rm blah 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 cold open dot mov.
Oh no, shit, really?
Yeah, straight up
Just
RM
gone.
command. Just
boom.
nuke the
That's
file.
crazy. I mean, I don't know how you could prove it was me because we all have access to that shell. I saw you typing over there too. No, I mean, I did an initial FFmpeg test, so I must have just accidentally deleted the wrong file.
Yeah,
Right.
Did it hit the MOV instead of the MP3?
Yeah, yeah.
or MP4?
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So this week's BSD Now is the only BSD Now that starts with no cold open and goes right into the intro.
Well, sorry.
Luckily, we lost 25 seconds of video,
Yeah.
not one of the 30-minute segments.
if you're gonna delete a segment,
That's crazy.
That's the one to delete.
I can't think of the last file that's I never deleted.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't delete anything ever.
You know
There's
what
too
you
much
should have
going
done
on.
was what you should have done was SCP'd it somewhere first.
I did. So actually, the way we got the files to Angela was, and to keep my archive of, I have the raw recordings of every episode ever, we SCP'd them from here to my file server.
You what? SCP'd them?
You mean rsync?
Yeah.
No, I think he actually used SCP.
I actually used SCP.
I saw
I used
SFTP at least once.
I
too.
used recursive SCP, which is the same thing, though.
Okay.
But yes, I'm just as guilty as anybody else of having finger memory.
Yeah, we've all done it. I have actually. I remember the biggest deletion I ever did was way worse than that. The biggest deletion I ever did was back in the day when I would use different FireWire drives for different archive footage, and I had a scratch disk, and then I had my footage disk, and I would routinely wipe the scratch disk because that was just render files, and you wipe it out and you start over. So I plug in my scratch disk and I bring up the old format and I wipe the file system and I set it clean. I'm like, good job, me. Put it back on the shelf. I go grab my footage drive. I plug it in. And there's all my scratch files. And I had gotten them mixed, and I wiped my footage drive, and I kept my scratch drive, and I probably wiped out 3 years worth of source files. Yeah.
I did something similar. We recorded
This
a
is years
webinar
ago.
for about ZFS one time, and so I had the recording on my computer, on the computer I recorded it on, and I copied it over to the NAS, where I ran the FFmpeg to convert it, so that they would be able to edit it, and something went wrong with the conversion, so I canceled it, and I was going to do it again, and accidentally RM tab completed the wrong file and deleted the source file. So then I was like frantically trying to undelete the file from the SSD that it originally was recorded to, and so on, because I knew ZFS had already overwritten stuff, so I couldn't get it back there. But maybe the disk on the recording machine, which was a regular file system, would be able to undelete. And I spent a long time trying to figure that out, and no success. Then, luckily, I remembered we live streamed it, so we had the live stream recording from the Scale Engine side. Now, not quite as high quality, but good enough.
At least you had it.
Yes, at least I didn't have to try to redo that whole thing over again.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yes, I too have fat-fingered the RM and deleted the source file instead of the destination by accident.
Don't you just wish you had infinite storage? Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, we
basically do.
Oh, yeah, you do. Add everybody. We were over at lunch. We were talking about the fact that Apple pays $30 million a month in their AWS bill. But here's another. Speaking of Amazon, one story I just wanted to mention before we get out of here, because just imagine this taking off. Picture it's Amazon today, but imagine this could be every company 10 years from now. Amazon's system for tracking its warehouse workers' efficiency can automatically fire them.
Well, you know who I think we need here is Tyler.
Oh, yeah? All right, go grab him. Yeah, good call. All right,
you might actually know.
So there have been many reports over recent years about unpleasant conditions that workers face at Amazon warehouses.
Yeah.
I think we've probably all heard those stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But documents obtained by The Verge show that it's far more common than people realize, and people are fired due to a lack of productivity. About 300 people were fired at a single facility between August 2017 and September 2018 for efficiency reasons. And crucially, the documents show that much of the firing process is completely automated.
100 out of how many?
Well, for sure.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it's like 300,000 people. Or something.
Yeah, and you legitimately should fire people if they don't perform well. So I'm not arguing that. Hey, Tyler, come on in here. Tyler is in here. Go right there. Right there. There's the mic. Come on in here. Longtime community member. Tyler, you've been a listener for like 10 plus years now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we are talking here about the documents by The Verge, the documents that The Verge have uncovered, have shown that Amazon warehouse employees are getting automatically fired by a system that tracks their efficiency. Like it's not even a human decision. The system says this employee has dropped below a certain threshold, they automatically get fired. And I think it's the future of the workforce everywhere.
Right. I have not seen anything like that at any of the facilities I've worked at.
Now, is there a system that tracks how efficient you are?
There definitely are systems like that because it's all computer-based. But
how does that work? Do you check in? Are you walking around with a machine? Like, what's the actual day-to-day process of that?
So it's basically tracking how much you're picking in an hour or stowing in an hour. It's checking that with the rate and then comparing that with what you should be doing.
What determines what you should be doing? What sets that bar?
I'm guessing it's if you're in the bottom 10th percentile, you're not very useful.
Is it based on other workers, or is it just a number your boss sets?
It's typically based on other workers.
So if everybody were to slow down, would the average go down?
I know, yes.
Yeah. Huh. Is it stressful?
I have not been on the floor in 2 years, so I cannot comment on that.
Do you feel like it might be for some of the people on the floor?
Yes,
Maybe.
if they keeps going
knowing
up,
that you
then
could be
definitely.
fired at any minute by a computer.
Well, I mean, that may only be in some places, but imagine a system like Uber that's tracking the drivers in real time. Like, you get real data on efficiency with something like Uber. So is it like a handheld system and people are scanning barcodes and then the system recognizes how often they scan barcodes and tracks that? Is that what's functionally, or how functionally does it know?
That would be the basis of, basically any kind of a warehousing system that's tracking rates. It's based on that computer system, how much you're scanning in an hour, how much you're scanning in an hour.
And that's probably, you think about it, it's not an unreasonable expectation to want people to be efficient. It's just what metric are they using, how flexible are they with it, and things like that.
So a very long time ago, I used to work in a supermarket in England called Sainsbury's, and I remember being picked up for not scanning enough items through the checkout per second. So even stuff like supermarkets are micromanaging these kind of numbers to get some, target.
I used to work for the company that created the till systems and the back office systems for Sainsbury's and other groceries, and I'm actually responsible for the algorithm that counts the swiped rate.
I just starting to like you, Willie.
Sainsbury's actually have a facility which is a fake store where you have random items that have to go through with actual till operators, and they have to ring up to certain amounts or certain specialized goods, and that's how you profile what the average swipe through rate should be.
So what I ended up doing was watching the 50-something-year-old women who'd worked their entire life at Sainsbury's, and what they used to do is wait for everyone to unload the shopping trolley onto the belt, wait for it to all queue up, and then go rather than one item at a time, which is what I was doing just as a novice 17-year-old.
Gaming the system, because I think the biggest variability there is going to be how fast the customer unloads their cart.
Right.
I take pride in being very efficient and grouping all the things on the belt in the order I want them in bags.
Right. Are you saying you do that? You do that? That's
all the meats go together, all the canned goods go together.
All the frozen stuff goes together so they keep each other cold.
And they cold it. Yes, the frozen stuff keeps the refrigerated stuff cold.
Yep. Yeah, that's how I do it too.
I am shocked to learn you're that organised about your shopping.
Alan, man, you need to meet my wife. That's exactly what she does, and she makes me do it as well.
I do it because it's good sense, because I want certain stuff in a certain bag and I want it together.
Yeah, you put all the heavy stuff first.
Yeah.
And then
good
put all the fruit and vegetables together and stuff. Yeah.
Why make it more difficult
so it
for the
doesn't get
bagger?
squished?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any snacking food right out the top.
Everybody knows that the dog food goes next to the bananas. You know.
And then any detergent or heavy soap that you might have, you just pour that on top.
Tyler, thank you for sharing what you know about it, because it's an interesting story. It's in the news this week, and I think it does have wider long-term implications, so it's good to get some insights. I want to get a chance to talk to Chad. Chad's here. He's a Linux Academy training architect. Mr. Chad Crawwell, welcome into the studio, sir. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. It's beautiful to be up here in the Pacific Northwest.
How gorgeous. How gorgeous.
I've never been up here before, and I don't know why. It's just beautiful. Everywhere you look, there's a beautiful mountain beside you, and
it's very green.
Picturesque.
It might not be your last trip, then.
Yeah. You should come up on a regular basis. I mean, for reasons. We'll come up with reasons later on.
I feel like we should, yeah.
It's probably best not to wear a Microsoft T-shirt, though.
Oh, no. Microsoft's all in now. They're going to be Satya Nadella's going to be the keynote speaker at Red Hat Summit, don't you know? So that's
wore this T-shirt on purpose for a
trolling?
conversation starter. And
that's actually
possible fisticuffs.
That's very strategic of you, actually. So can you reveal what you're working on right now? Can you tell us can you say? No? It's all right if you can't.
No, I'm kidding. I am working on Apache Kafka.
Oh,
nice.
Speaking of real-time analytics. Producers, consumers, and all that real-time analytics of data that you may get from payroll systems and shopping systems, which you guys were just talking about.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I mean, Kafka's been just rapid adoption all over the place, right? It builds the sort of foundations of many data stores and processing libraries at a lot of large organizations.
Yeah, it seems like it. It does seem like it.
Yeah, just released the Kubernetes certified Kubernetes administrator course on Linux Academy.
Yeah, round of applause for that. I agree.
Yeah,
that is great.
The official announcement's going out on, I believe, Monday.
So we have. You saying we have a little exclusive right now?
Yeah,
we got a
little bit. Yeah,
boom.
The official announcement's going out on Monday, and also I'll drop another.
Do it, man. Let's do an exclusive right now, right here on the Friday stream.
Yeah, and you may be able to get a little bit of a shortcut or maybe a helper during the course, and has something to do with our new features that we had recently released at Linux Academy.
What are you talking about?
Sandboxes.
Oh.
A little bit of playground, a little bit of sandbox, a little bit of that. Yeah. So there's a lot of great kind of accoutrements to the course that go well with what we have now and all that. So people really enjoy it.
So what are you following these days in the wider industry, outside of like the training stuff? What are you following in general, like tech news wise?
Tech news, actually following containers and Docker, going to DockerCon in a few days here.
Oh,
in
Elle's
San
going
Francisco.
to that too.
Yeah. So that's very exciting.
So you're not following foldable phones that break?
That's what I'm following.
I watched a video just the other day. Somebody opened and closed the foldable phone 1,000 times, I think it was. And them sitting there, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, man, I got some editing or something you could do if you ever got the downtime like that.
Did you see that Samsung
I didn't watch the whole video, but
did you see that Samsung asked iFixit to take their teardown down?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Samsung contacted iFixit and told them to take it down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weird company.
Why did they listen?
They didn't really learn from the battery thing.
The reason they listened was because iFixit obtained the phone through a partner. And they said, we have no obligation legally to actually take this down, but out of respect to our partner channel, as in we want more stuff in the future.
Otherwise, Samsung's not going to give them stuff.
We don't want to burn this bridge. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, it's interesting because if you listen to Samsung, they'll tell you that it's a product that's been 10 years in the making. But if you look at it just with your own eyes, you look at it and go, that thing looks rushed. It's got a gap when it's closed. It's got that protective screen on it that they didn't tell anybody it was a protective screen that anybody's going to want to flick off there. It's got a little spot that can collect junk on the bottom of it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't asked you what you think about the whole foldable phone thing. Have you? By the way, have you gotten your new phone?
No, it was delayed. I saw Tyler. You just got yours, right? Yeah, right in your hand.
Yeah, new Pixel 3 deal.
I even
So both
paid
of
for
you
the
jumped on the deal.
shipping.
Yeah, so they both jumped on that Pixel deal that happened recently.
What, just in time for the Pixel 4 coming out?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I was debating on the Pixel 4, then I saw the half off deal and I jumped on that.
You know what? The Pixel 3 is a great phone, and it's going to be fine for a couple of years, no problem.
And my Pixel, like the battery broke, or the power button just broke, so I have to if I want to restart my phone, I have to be tethered to my computer, and that just seems like an insane proposition.
Gosh.
Yeah, right. I mean, thankfully ADB exists, and I can actually turn my phone on.
Could
at
you
all.
not do the double click to get the camera thing either anymore? Was that gone too?
Yeah, the power button is just totally doesn't work.
Well, I mean, it's worth the Wes has a good eye for photos, so it's worth a camera upgrade alone for you. I think.
That's what I mean. And I mean, I could always sell it later, still buy a Pixel 4 if there's any
for sure.
certain advantage.
I think you'll be very. Did you get? So I know you've told me, but I forget. Did you get the XL or did you get the?
Just the small one.
No, that's the one I got too. That's a good one. Is that what you have too?
Yep, I didn't want that big notch.
No,
for
it's
the regular.
perfect. It's a great size. It's a great size. It's a great phone. I'm rocking mine right now too. I just love it.
Well, look at you.
I know. I felt like when you ordered one, I wanted to I was like, all right, let's go back to the Pixel.
We'll be matching before
Quite a bit smaller than my Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It actually ended up being narrower than my Moto X4 that I upgraded from.
I actually think the Pixel 3 small is the perfect phone size for me.
I don't know. Like, I went down from the Nexus 6 to the Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
was the 6 bigger?
The 6 is much wider. It's not really any taller, but it's a lot wider. So the screen has a different aspect ratio.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I want to go smaller than the 2 XL. Like,
really?
I'm blind, so I need a giant screen.
It's funny when I see the screenshots that people post when they've got the tall, thin, whatever aspect ratio it is.
Yeah.
I always get a little bit of like, I don't know about envy, but I feel like my old school 16:9 or whatever phone is just a bit old fashioned now.
Yeah. It's like using SCP, man.
Yeah. or XFCE.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool right now.
Yeah, that means that all these things will be happening just a moment's notice.
I made Wes try out Manjaro XFCE edition too.
What did you think of it, Wes?
Oh, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a weird combination of like pseudo-stable arch. I don't think I would do it for a long term, but I mean, it was a very pleasant environment.
But XFCE itself.
Oh, I'm definitely an XFCE fan.
Yeah.
I honestly, if I had a machine, it seems like a great fit for the studio or other setup. Like I just don't. My needs are simple enough on most of my day-to-day computers that I just haven't returned there because my other desktop environments aren't failing me.
No, they're working fine.
Yeah,
but you're getting the job
but
done.
XFCE is a great place to start, especially if you just want a system that gets out of your way.
I was surprised by how many comments I got after the show. They were like, yes, all of the things you said in the show, finally, Chris. Like I got so many of those. Yeah. What, Alex? What?
So I loaded Manjaro with XFCE after the show.
Yeah.
Just to see what you were
Going
talking
on
about.
Yeah. Although I'll have you know, I am actually using it on Ubuntu. That's my actual daily drive.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I just wanted to try because everybody says it's peak XFCE. Right?
Well, I switched to Plasma after Texas. I saw your setup last year, and I've stuck with it ever since.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd give XFCE a go. And I don't really want him to hear this, but I kind of like it.
I know.
I told you.
It is good.
I think Wimpy's going to tell us exactly why I'm wrong and how GNOME... No, sorry, what? Mate?
Yeah.
What's this Mate thing?
So, actually, it's an interesting question.
So, I thought it was Mate.
Go ahead, Alex.
One more point to finish XFCE before we move on to Mate.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed the most about it was on the ThinkPad under my fingers, it felt cooler whilst it was running throughout the day than it used to with Plasma.
So I think the fact that it's not using a 3D compositor is what's making it feel faster.
And the fan in the ThinkPad actually turned off all day.
I feel like my menus open quicker in Firefox and Chrome. The web pages pop up on the screen faster. ThunArt launches before I feel like I've even my fingers even come up off the mouse button. I feel like the file manager's up. And I'm trying to think about, so if I have a system with 64 gigs of RAM, and if I'm using Plasma Desktop, it's using 3 gigs. And if I'm using XFCE and it's using 200 megabytes, I still have more than 60 gigs of RAM free, regardless of which desktop environment I'm using. So it shouldn't be faster, and yet it's undeniably faster.
Man, Popey and Wimpy are so triggered by all
I know,
this.
I know. So I want to... And Popey, you'll love this. I describe it as the difference between using GNOME Shell and Unity. It feels like the difference of using GNOME Shell and Unity.
I've gone back to Unity on my my Entroware Athena. It's got 64 gigs of RAM.
Your Entroware Athena or Wimpy's?
It's been in my house for over a year. It's now mine.
There's a story.
Property is theft. It's now mine.
There's a story. Oh yeah, user error reference there.
Yeah. So yeah, I've switched back. So I don't think I have any machines running stock GNOME now. I've got Unity, Plasma, Mate on the three main machines that I use, and yeah, we've talked about this on user error before, where you can kind of see the windows being drawn, and I value clicking on an icon and the thing appearing on the screen. And I get that with Unity. And I'm sad that Unity 7 was deprioritized, but it's still in the archive. And I thought, well, let's just see if it still works okay on 1904. So I'm running the latest 1904, so all the kernel and latest video drivers and all that. But Unity.
It's probably more up to date than XFCE. So and you perceive a performance difference?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like you hit the button and see the thing appear.
That's
what you want.
That's how I feel with XFCE.
But what I don't care about is RAM usage quite so much.
Right. Yeah.
Because. Yeah. I just let that figure it out.
I've got plenty of RAM. Yeah. That's why I don't. It's not the RAM usage, even though it uses less memory.
I need that other 32 gig to be able to run the Slack client, obviously.
Yes, and one Chrome tab.
Right.
Bloody Electron. But is some of it just it trying to do animations and stuff? Like I know, like with
maybe
even older
fade
versions
in, fade
of Windows.
Outs. Yeah.
It's like you want the Windows going to slide up and fade in and stuff.
Maybe.
It's like,
adjust for best performance. On Windows.
Just turn all that shit off. It's like maybe keep smooth scroll, but everything else just needs to die.
My sense is because it's so broad, because I feel like I perceive it across multiple Electron applications, native applications. I feel like it's
like they're all still using the
it's got to be a multi-factor thing, but I think you're right. I think in part it is there's no fade in, there's no draw on screen. It's just immediately as soon as X can throw it up on the screen, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
So there is that to it. But all right, now I've said my piece. Tell me what you think, Wimpy. Am I insane? What do you think?
So Joe thinks I'm triggered, and I'm really not.
First you look a little triggered.
The only thing I'm triggered about is Joe's now got 3 people to agree with him, and therefore he thinks his whole worldview is now shared by the entire planet.
That is the tragedy.
We don't have video, but Wimpy did kind of like jump out of the chair.
I was actually moving to one side for Alan to come to the microphone.
This is the tragedy of the situation. I give you that.
But so I'm not going to say anything bad about another Linux desktop project because all of the Linux desktop projects are all in it together. All of the people involved in the different projects speak to one another, communicate with each other, and we're all hopeless Linux desktop enthusiasts. And ultimately, I don't think we really care who's using what, just so long as people are using desktop Linux.
We have a title there, Hopeless Linux Enthusiasts.
Yeah. Well, we are, really. We are. We're just, committed to this.
There's a big that said coming.
That said, I see lots of people, following the hot new trends, right? I must use this distro, must use this desktop
are you saying
environment.
XFCE is the hot new trend?
No, it is. No, it's the hot new trend because Joe talks about it all the time. A few other people have tried it out for the first time in a long time and gone, oh my goodness, this lightweight desktop environment is way, way faster than these environments that have got lots of desktop animations in them.
Are you saying that Joe Resington is a trendsetter?
I am saying that there are people in this room who are influencers over a section of the Linux desktop using community. And if you say this thing is great, people will start using it and raving about it until you say
it's no good.
Ubuntu Mate is the fastest, bestest distro you can get, and then everyone will be using that again.
According to Chase, Windows is the only path.
So should we come?
It's
to some
okay that Chase is wrong.
If we want to come to some sort of financial agreement where
I've been hearing great things about Ubuntu Mate recently.
All of a sudden, everybody's talking about it.
So I don't worry about it so much. I did find it amusing. When we go to company sprints, we have all of our team sat around a desk and we're all using different flavors of Ubuntu, which might come as a surprise when you're at a Canonical event that people that work at Canonical are using the official flavors as well, and even like KDE Neon, for example. And then a colleague of mine every sprint seems to start the sprint by wiping his machine and installing some new Ubuntu flavor.
I would do that.
And I can just remember the expression on Sergio's face when he installed Ubuntu Mate and it booted for the first time, and he looked at me, sort of jaw dropped and eyes wide open. This is fast. And I was like, yes, I know.
Yeah.
And I hear people going, oh, I've got this problem with audio on this thing, and I've got this problem with that. And there's me quietly sat there just getting on with my work. I never have these problems, just a reliable workhorse, just getting stuff done.
But, with regards to this XFCE thing, we got a comment, I'm not sure where it was, YouTube or something, where someone pointed out that with Mate, you guys rushed into the GTK3 thing.
Oh, snap.
Whereas XFCE have stayed mostly on GTK2 and are very, very slowly moving to GTK3. And as a result, XFCE is more stable.
We rushed into it over a period of 5 years.
Yeah. Whereas
rushing we were.
Yeah, XFCE is taking 10 years.
Yeah. Relatively.
Yeah, but their release cadence is a release every 2 years anyway. So
yeah. But the point being that I have put Ubuntu Mate on a few people's computers that I can't really support because I put it on a laptop, send it away, and then they just deal with it. And they come back to me with problems. And they're not the kind of people who are going to report bugs or whatever. And so you're never going to hear about it. Whereas I do that with Ubuntu, and because it's so stable and just hasn't changed for how many releases, all of those little edge cases have been fixed more or less, and so I don't get that pushback from them. Whereas because you guys are moving more quickly, you are a more modern desktop, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you are relatively lightweight, but you are more modern and more cutting edge than XFCE, which isn't hard, to be fair. And as a result of that, there are some problems, just weird things like screens not turning back on properly in correct resolutions and weird edge cases.
That sort of stuff is okay. Fine. There is a symbiotic relation. Well,
that's it?
When you say something like that, I just think that is something common that's shared at the foundational level of all Ubuntu flavors. So if you're saying you have that problem with Ubuntu Mate and not with another one, I kind of am a bit dismissive.
You got no words. You got no words for that.
But why is it when I put Ubuntu on there, I never hear another word?
We're quite a data-driven company, and we look at a significant number of crash reports or a significant number of issues reported by people who have common setups. One guy called Joe, who has a mate down the pub, is not a substantial volume of data to base a conclusion on.
But I'm an influencer.
As we've established.
Not with that T-shirt on, you're not.
I'll have you know, I'm wearing this T-shirt because I saw a picture of Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
No, Joe is wearing that T-shirt because every time I see Joe, he is wearing that T-shirt.
Dylan did wear a tie-dye, though. That is true.
It's because I'm down with the kids, literally.
Yeah. Who wore it better?
Uncle Joe. It's Uncle Joe over there in the corner, wearing a tie-dye.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't sound right. All right, I'll have to give Mate a fair shake. You're right. It's been a little while. It's been a while.
Elle, have you come in to defend GNOME and Pop OS, or have you come in to say, hurry up, I want to go get pizza?
I'm with the pizza comment. Y'all are taking way too long. It's time to eat.
All right, Elle, hold on. Now get on there in that mic and tell me what you think here about, before we get out of here, tell me what you think about the whole crowd here. How crazy is this?
It is insane. How do you fit this many people into this small space?
I don't think you can.
No,
I don't know how we're
it's
doing
legal.
it. It's some sort of Doctor Who effect going on here.
Do not tell the fire marshal.
The studio is actually TARDIS?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a TARDIS studio. How else can you podcast, right? All right. Well, I think that's just about everything we have for this show. So, Elle, any parting words for people that are going to ever come here for next year? They're going to come out to Linux Fest. You're brand new to the area. Do you have any advice for people? Get rental tips, hotel tips, food tips. What do you got?
Bring a chair, enjoy the environment, find a mountain.
Wow, you nailed it. That's great. Yeah, and also, I agree, bring a chair. If you're going to come to the studio, you definitely got to bring a chair. Bring your own chair and bring your own booze at this point.
Whatever you need to be comfortable, just make sure you've got it. We don't have it.
We are running out of all of the things. People in the chat room were asking, how are you guys doing the booze? Well, people just show up with booze. Wes showed up with some booze.
That's what you do.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon, man.
Are you complaining?
Well, you can't be drinking this early.
Technically, Joe, for you and me, it's 11 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, Joe, I'm...
no, for you maybe, but I'm always on Seattle time. So so this is pretty... I might start drinking around this time occasionally, but no, I'm still on the water.
I definitely don't think we should be drinking. I just,
It's Friday.
I mean, it's Friday. It's Friday. There you go. It's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Listen, when you're podcasting, sometimes you gotta have something to go with it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Especially with
something special.
Wes Payne brought in some apple cider, and I think I'm drinking all of it. So
good.
She's so bad, it's good, and it's got a grandma on there.
Bad granny cider.
Look, you see that bad grandma on there?
She is
You
bad.
can go with the old Texas saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. We have a saying like that up here.
Plus, like almost everyone here has flown in, and when you fly, you can drink at any hour. No one knows where you're coming from.
There's just no way I can cope with all you bastards unless I drink. That's just what the truth is.
I did drink all of the vodka and all of the Jack Daniels on my flight.
Yeah. You haven't drank all that Jaeger we got you, though, have you?
A little bit of it.
All right. How is a little bit like half of it?
Maybe. No, about
just a sample.
You're busting my balls, and you're over there polishing off a bottle of Jaeger on your own.
Joe is a massive hypocrite. having been out on like a 14-hour drinking session with Joe, massive hypocrite.
Man.
Look, I'm not saying that you don't drink loads. I'm just saying you wait until the evening to start.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. You definitely want to wait till the evening. Don't drink during the day. Don't want to do that. Especially when you're podcasting. That's
Especially
a bad.
at work, right?
Woo! It's during the business days. You don't want to do that.
I'm not working. This is not work. I'm not allowed to work. Don't tell the TSA.
All right, so show of hands. How many of you is the first time in the studio? Let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the people in the room, first time in the studio. Bigger or smaller than you thought?
Well, the fact that I'm having to sit on Martin's lap really says how small this is.
Yeah, but you guys have plenty of room.
I thought that's how your coat does all the, you guys worked all the time.
There is that.
I came up with a new slogan for JB after walking in here.
Oh, yeah?
It looks more professional than I expected.
Jupiter Broadcasting, more professional than you expect.
It's smaller than I expected, and you and Wes sit way closer than I expected.
Yeah. Really?
And it explains why.
The audio passover that you have to deal with? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It blew my mind when I
Joe.
first came in here and saw that the studio is on the ground floor. And for some reason in my head, this studio is upstairs.
Yeah.
But it's not. And it just threw me completely.
So I think, Popey, that might be because Americans call the first floor, the ground floor is the first floor to them. And maybe he said that. That's
They may have
confused me
said
for like
first
6
floor.
months.
Yeah. That's probably very true. I probably have referred to it.
Yeah, I get in the lift and I'm looking for G for ground, and it's like, oh no, 1, which that should be the first floor, the first one above the ground. You Americans.
You're not doing a very good job of arguing this, Joe. The first floor upstairs. The first floor.
I mean, you can go upstairs. You're just going to find my office. I might have my pants off. I mean, it's up to you.
I'm in.
All right, well, what we got to do is we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to have a prolonged post show if you're watching live or listening live, because we got a ton of more people I want to bring in here. But I figured for the main Friday stream, we'd probably wrap it up because we got to get out of here pretty soon.
It turns out we have to do all the setup for Linux Fest Northwest still?
Big crowd, right, Tyler? It's a big crowd. Huge crowd.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think, Wes? What do you think?
Amazing. I was blown away. Especially, I figured I knew about some people that were going to be here,
Yeah.
right? And then I roll in, and the whole house. I could hear it before I opened the door. I was like, oh shit.
Well, if you're sticking around on the live stream, you'll get to hear from a few more folks. But otherwise, thank you for joining us. This is the Friday stream.
Friday.
It's Friday.